All right, hello everyone. Here are the Link to the Past Randomizer Ladder Casual Boots Invitational Group C match. Today we're featuring Vortex of Doom versus Teto. I am Shinmaru, and with me on comms is Arya Stark, 2942. How are you doing today, Arya?
I'm doing great, Shin. Happy to be here for this exciting match between two excellent runners, and both pretty much really need this one.
Yes. So Teto, unfortunately, is all but eliminated in name. He's got a very slight chance, but he's already lost two matches, and basically he needs to win this by an absurd amount to still have the ability to get into the playoffs. Meanwhile, Vortex is dropped his first match, but he's still got two to go. If he wins out, he's got a pretty. I think if he wins out, he's basically in.
Yeah, Vortex is he's got a chance to control his destiny if he finishes 2-1. Schultzer and Ninjembro are the other two members of Group C. Neither has dropped a match as of yet. Ninjembro has beaten both of these players, and Schultzer knocked off Teto yesterday. So there's plenty of action, but yeah, both these players definitely need it, and it looks like we are getting underway, at least on
Yes.
Vortex's side.
Yes.
And then it didn't take long to find that pearl.
Yeah.
Obviously, most folks pretty well familiar with the casual boots mode, but it's a standard start. You get the boots, you get to pretend like you have a sword when you dash through those bushes.
Mhm.
Gonna pick up the sword from Uncle, do escape, and then we're off.
And very quick map check. It looked like a pendant in Eastern and 5-6 crystal in Desert.
Yeah, Teto was just way too quick for me on that one. With two players of this high skill level, like watching the escape sequence for both of these players is probably going to be a real treat. Just the
Yes.
efficiency, the amazing dash lines.
Yeah, definitely. These are definitely two runners you think of when you think of casual boots in this community.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've had the good fortune to call one Teto match before, and he won in less than an hour. So
Yeah.
it's pretty good. Oh,
Oh, exactly the item you want to see in Escape.
did we say fast escape times?
Yeah.
Just say blisteringly fast escape times. And naturally, since it's Kaz boots, the players also found a bomb 3-pack that you'd rather find in a normal standard start when you don't have the
Yes.
boots to bomb cope in the back of this game.
Still useful. Oh my goodness.
Hello. All right, all this wonderful stuff right off the bat. Where's the punchline? Do we have to wait for it,
Yeah.
or?
Oh, and bomb packs getting dropped.
No need to worry about slashing that ball and chain. Just fire on him, mirror out, as one does.
Yes, I'm very glad when I was newer to running rando that I watched someone do that first. So I realized it could be a thing before it happened to me.
Another fun thing when you get that early mirror in the escape sequence. I always love to get that extra Y item so I don't accidentally have the mirror up anymore.
Yes.
Because who would ever mirror back to the front of escape? No, nobody.
It's never happened to anyone.
No. Even with a few minor hiccups, both of these runners just still making quick work of the escape sequence. Nice 300 in the back of escape too, along with bombs. So fully set on bombs. Very good on money early on, which should definitely help as well.
Yes. Especially because checking out that Zora area water walking with boots, very popular play. So if you get any closer to having Zora money by the time you're there, it's definitely a weight off your shoulders.
Vortex got that map.
Yeah. Yes.
That is +1 on the collection, right?
Worth the time loss, I would say.
See if Teto picks that up as well.
Teto says no to fluffing.
Vortex gonna give us that quick little check a lumberjack. Makes perfect sense. Kaz boots, when you've got that escape sequence, the boots, it's perfect time to just get it out of the way.
I wasn't quite sure. It looked like a rupee.
Yeah, it was definitely blue, and it did not
Yeah.
look terribly appealing. So,
Or it could have been flipped. I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to say anything for sure.
Teto will.
We can see it on two.
Teto. Well, all right.
Well, if we see either of them rush Aga,
Yeah.
we know why.
Nice bombos in the thief drop down. So, yeah. Ice Palace pretty covered when if and when the players head that way. And it's looking like it's going to be a pretty similar route for both players here right off the bat.
Yeah, when you're dropped off, like right next to Kakariko, it's a little. I mean, unless you're that type of player, it's a little hard to deviate from this when it's all just like right there. Especially when you're so close to Zora Money, there's there's not a terrible chance that you can come out to from CAC like much closer.
Yeah, that makes total sense. As you noted earlier, you make that South Shore trip with the potential fake flipper. If you can tie it all in at once, that would be pretty ideal. A bottle with a good B, so
Yeah.
that's an additional check plus $100 there.
Okay, things I learned. You can release it from all the way up there. He just knows where to go.
Oh, hello, Early Bow.
Yeah, Vortex has not done a map check yet, to my knowledge. So
No, he often does that map check when he gets down to race game. At least when we work together in the mentor tournament. If Eastern is indeed a pendant, though, that is an intriguing decision that would potentially be made.
Yeah, especially as beating it is in logic with that fire rod.
There's that map check.
I feel like maybe you'd want to wait until the game kind of forces that decision on you.
Yeah, right now my priority would probably be head down to South Shore, get as much as we can, and then again have the game perhaps give you a little more clear direction. Just having a minor resyncing here.
Yep.
Teto's stream was a little bit behind.
Vortex 2 committed to speed. Yeah, we'll see what was on. Oh, actually, I don't even know. And I actually do know Vortex does like to skip dam on occasion, so who knows if he even checked it. Or at least delay dam check.
Yeah, Vortex still 26 rupees away. Teto 9 away from Zor money after doing that damn check. Oh, that is a
nice.
helpful.
Very friendly stun prize.
You'll take that in certain circumstances for sure. Alrighty, so glove away from Dark World access after the Hammer and Ice Rod Cave. Lake Hylia Island will be bypassed for today. I believe that's 3 bottles already.
Yeah.
Teto, meanwhile, still 3 rupees short of Zora, 2 rupees short of Zora. He's not done that stun prize check.
Let's see, will it matter?
No.
No. Unless he decides to go back there later.
Did you happen to spot if there was anything on Zora Ledge? Was that spied?
I don't think so. I don't want to say for sure.
Man under the bridge gave Teto $5, which is going to be huge for getting those $20. So Vortex now likely making the Dam to Agina play.
I'm definitely a fan of doing this in a boots mode. It's a little less. It feels less terrible to run over here with boots.
Absolutely.
It'd be to walk all the way over to Agina. People still don't like doing it, so if there's something here, you get a nice little edge.
Yeah, I had a tendency to get burned hard by Agina by doing Dam to Ice Rod Cave. Tying it together gave me an excuse to go to Agina. And there's the glove.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Teto's going to be drawn there eventually, unless there's another glove floating out there somewhere, very easily accessible, which this game likes to do.
Yeah. Effectively, the only other option he has is Saha and Eastern. Yeah. So.
And Agina's definitely more isolated for Teto, having already done the dam.
That is true. So, Thieves and Skull pendants. I did not catch the 5-6.
Either I assume he'll update his tracker when he gets some. The tracker will do in a moment. Yeah, interesting decision by Teto to go after this the one check, perhaps not wanting to get drawn into completing an Eastern that he doesn't have to.
And Vortex right away heading to the very least Pyramid, but potentially... Oh. Backtracking down to Pod?
So, yeah, I wonder if his one pyramid, the other pyramid fairy is maybe somewhat accessible. He thought a little better of like.
That could definitely make sense.
Maybe he's just favoring the density in a crystal he can beat, like literally right now.
And so, both players converging on Saha, just in a slightly different setting.
Yes.
Not much to be found there, unfortunately.
And unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately, who knows, depending on what's in there, Teto's getting drawn into Eastern. Pendant Eastern can definitely be very ornery in a mode like this. There's definitely going to be some very awful stuff hiding in here.
For sure. Depending on what is in Pod, Vortex will also have the option of perhaps following Teto into Eastern. But he also currently has far more external options as well.
Yes.
And it's hover time.
Oh. Probably one more try.
It's also only taken me almost 17 minutes to realize that both players are using the same sprite.
Yes.
So accustomed to seeing it from Teto.
Yeah.
And then so wait a second.
Very funny lamp.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right. Well, we know Teto is not finding a glove in Eastern Palace.
Yep.
But will he find something else of consequence?
It's a potentially interesting choice for Teto because does he go for Agina, or does he think that maybe just Lamp is just in Agina and gamble on? Because with the Fire Rod, I mean it's doable. I don't know what your choice would be. What kind of choice he would make in that situation.
Yeah, that's an intriguing thought, right? Because he's, especially since he's done bad, he has literally one thing left.
Yes.
Currently. So the options are very small. It would be interesting. Teto has yet not found anything in Eastern. It looked like he did choose to skip the vanilla big key chest. Oh, hello, Ice Rock. Okay, believe in Pod. Teto's stream cut a little bit when he was getting the item, but it doesn't look like anything of consequence came from that eastern dip.
He is going Twiggy now, so that's good for him. Good for Teto.
He's gonna be chasing a little bit, but we'll see see what options he chooses to exercise right off the bat. Whether he follows Vortex's lead to pod or perhaps starts checking out some other areas.
It's a very nice Mimics room for Vortex.
Yeah, very, very slick and clean there. Yeah. Teto is saving and quitting from Sank, so this is pretty interesting. I don't believe that he is. Yeah, I don't believe that he's had the ability thus far to check the Dark World map. But from his direction, it looks, yep, he's heading to the mountain. So there is some divergence, which could prove beneficial right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, he'll be heading to the mountain without those mitts, but. Remains to be seen how much is behind the mitts, and I wonder if Vortex forgot a key or something. I feel like he was down here earlier.
Yeah, he was. I thought I was like, wait a second, did I was focused at that moment on where Teto was heading after getting the glove, and then I'm like, wait a second, wasn't Vortex's Mimics room complimented a little bit? A little bit earlier?
Ice is the other 5-6.
Excellent job with the hammer closing out that Helmasaur fight from Vortex. Well, pod with the goods early on. Got mitts, got lamp, got a hard required ice rod. Well, Teto has given us our first look here of Hera, which is a crystal.
It looks like a big key in the basement.
With no avenue to Herapot right now. Possibly, not the worst option in the world. Only 2 items there anyway. With the way Teto's stream is going, I did not see what he got, although he didn't mark anything off, I don't think. So one of those Mitzlock checks you noted, well, without mirror, I guess it would have been fully Mitzlock, but nothing there in King's
chat, ice. Sorry. To answer a question in the chat, Ice Rod is in pod, Crystal Pod, so pretty much free today.
And Vortex also heading up the mountain with, as you noted, the advantage of being able to do those myths checks.
Yeah.
3 additional items he can get right now. Plus,
Yeah.
if he opts to hover,
Yes.
Hookshot Cave.
Exactly. It's, especially with 2 pendants in Village Valcast area, this play makes a whole lot of sense.
A pretty exciting find for Teto there at the end of Paradox. I don't know if you spotted that. He's got some reading material. He's got some
Yep.
homework to do when he
No
gets a second
comment.
sword.
No comment.
Just have a minor hiccup with trying to get Teto's stream going here. Oh, he is back and heading to Desert with that truly amazing book. Just so good. Look at all the uses it has. Opens Desert, does other things.
Vortex opting to go to Hera Basement.
It's definitely interesting. I certainly don't hate it by any means. Obviously, Hera Basement, not a fun time sink, but if he can clear as much of the mountain now, I mean, there's certainly utility to that.
I think your most hopeful scenario in a situation like this is that hook shot or something leading to hook shot. Is up here. Oh no! Oh no! Because we have with that Crystal Swamp hook shot is very much required today.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of folks who, prefer heading to East Death Mountain and getting those checks done, and then potentially heading to Hera just for the fact that there's the potential for hookshot to be found there. Although I guess it's a bit more frequent to be looking for myths to be able to clear more stuff. But Teto does not seem to have found much of anything in Desert thus far. Pod has really been the one dungeon that has actually come through with items for the players. Another exceptionally efficient boss fight for Vortex for piece of art.
That is crystal number 2 on the board for Vortex. At the very least, not to worry about leaving items behind or anything like that.
I mean, that peace of mind, again, definitely does have some utility. Allows him to, clear the rest of the mountain. He obviously doesn't know that the book is going to be on the right side. Can't get Ether tablet, but could read it. Yeah, having a momentary issue with the streams. So to go off what you noted at the opener, Shin, I mean, this is Group C in the first round of the Invitational playoffs for the Cast Boots Invitational. There's 4 groups of 4. The top 2 from each group will advance to the next week, which will be 2 groups of 4, which then gets winnowed down to the top 4, and then the top 2, which will play a best of 3 series, I believe. There's no shortage of exceptional players in this. 16 amazing players who, excelled throughout the season 17 of the ladder. And any one of these 16 players, if you'd said at the outset of the playoffs they're the winner, I don't think
Yeah.
anyone would look at you sideways.
Yeah.
I mean, as noted when we were talking earlier, Jem was brilliant throughout the season, and dropped his first 2 playoff matches, and that happens. It's rando. You're going up against the best of the best. And we are back on Vortex's side.
And there's Teto in Skullwoods now.
At some point, it looked like Teto picked up a Quake Medallion.
Oh, there's
Oh boy.
that.
Well, that first glove find has paid off pretty big for Vortex thus far. Getting him that quicker access into pod, and then the mitts, which will now open up the mire area. Did that look like Quake to you?
Yeah.
If that is the situation, it'll be interesting to see where Teto indeed picked up Quake. Pretty interesting. Teto is heading, beelining it for Moth here.
Yeah.
He does already have 1 pendant in tow from Eastern.
Yep. This is a green pendant moth.
He also has the opportunity to read Pedestal while here. And the 3rd pendant is freely gettable down in Thieves Town, so Vortex was able to hover to, what was it, 2 of those 3?
Yep.
In Hookshot Cave, which is pretty impressive. And Ari making the note in chat that seeing that sprite and wondering how Teto is hovering.
Okay. Oh, true. There are still some things that could be on the pedestal. Unfortunately. For Teto.
And so right now for Vortex, I mean, he is actually, even though he does have a decent lead in terms of certain key items and dungeons. He's still in need of that hook shot.
Yep.
Still in need of flippers. Still in need of Samaria.
Yep.
And Quake and at least one sword. So
Yeah. All it takes is for one item to be in very awkward spot. Close the gap. No, and that was definitely Quake for Meyer.
well, Samaria was fairly easy to locate. So we knocked that one off the list. So Teto heading over here to King's Tomb, Graveyard Ledge. We've already seen King's Tomb on Vortex's side and know it's nothing. Trying to think of the checks that Teto may have done that yielded that medallion.
I think it was very likely somewhere in the Village of Outcasts area, whether it's one of these as outside checks or doesn't look like he's dipped into Thieves Town yet, unless it was a very ugly run of thieves. So I'd say probably one of those village checks or perhaps in Skullwoods itself.
Definitely makes sense. Oh, good.
Now it's your turn to be excited.
I'm thrilled. It's fun. You get to go dig up something that you can just put right back. But as you noted, though, all it takes is an item in an awkward spot, and Graveyard Ledge is a little bit of an awkward spot. Especially for Vortex, having already done King's Tomb with those two pendants in Skull and Village.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice Lamo fight from Vortexes. Oh, well, there you go. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
It was
all right,
the
well,
desert item we missed.
There's our answer. It was just on land mode the whole time. And yeah, I mean that opens up the avenue for Vortex right now to go do Meyer if he so chooses. Not a fun fight, but for players of this skill, it's very much doable.
And if I'm Vortex, I definitely want to find Hookshot first. That means Ice and Swamp completely go modable.
Yeah, that would absolutely be ideal.
Yeah, that's why chat TR definitely an option. Fully clearable. Along with the accompanying checks like Mimic Cave. And we know from Teto's side that Spike Cave is now in Logic as well. And Vortex could very easily do it out of Logic with his bottle. I think he got a fairy in a bottle.
I believe so, yeah. I think they got the one with the bee bottle, the fairy, and the green.
And as always, the God Mire when you're not exactly eager to go straight to Vitreous. Like at the very least, Vortex would be very happy to find another sword before getting down there.
Yeah, for certain.
Unfortunately, Teto, a lot of these checks he's doing are netting very little.
Yeah, I mean, 3 items in the front of thieves and nothing of great value. Pendant dungeons have yielded effectively 0. So he said this is the one, or one of the potential outs, and another banner day for the shovel. Teto still yet to go to pod, so he's without the myths that are opening up the few checks that Vortex has not done.
Yes.
Which in reality is effectively just, I mean, aside from the things that Teto has done that Vortex hasn't, such as Thieves, Village of Outcast, you know, the Smith Chain is the main mislocked thing that's sitting out there. Which I'm sure neither player's eager to be jumping at yet.
I think Pyramid and Catfish are still large now. I don't think Vortex went back to clean that up.
No, I don't believe so. Vortex is a pretty good fortune in terms of he's moved in the right direction of progression fairly consistently.
Unfortunately, yeah, nothing on that green pendant either.
Tato's made a lot of very reasonable plays, and they have just not worked out great for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can definitely understand if he felt behind after last locating. Well, you just, I mean, you never know if your opponent also last located it, or if they decided to take the chance and do a Gina before other things.
Is Vortex setting up an alternate version of Spooky here?
Yes. Actually, doesn't quite get it. I think if you throw the Samaria block into the void up there, it does essentially the same thing as, you know, lifting up the rock when the duck's still on the screen.
Yeah, okay.
And then you just have to kind of finagle it in that way. I've never done it myself. I've never tried it. that particular way of doing Spooky.
Vortex tanking the damage for the spins, which is definitely interesting. Again, though, if he has a fairy in reserve,
yeah, this makes sense.
And if you can leave yourself 8 arrows, although he's surely practiced enough at dealing with the big Eye of Vitreous with a hammer that if he needs to get in a couple hits, he could probably do it. Biddy down with Fighter Sword, so another strong fight for Vortex, and he's just racking up the crystals at this point.
Yeah, nothing doing in Mire, unfortunately. I do wonder if he gets drawn into some of these same checks that Teto ended up doing. Like, from his Vortex's perspective, there's no reason for him to assume that Teto last located Mitts and has been gone without them for a while. So
that's true.
Like,
Vortex does have the hello sword.
Oh, that would have been a little nice that beforehand.
Vortex does have the the option of doing Turtle Rock now, though.
Yeah, I think TR is probably the most likely play, though. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, flute to 4.
Okay, so that must have been flippers then. Okay. That must have been
on
flippers. Okay,
Agilage?
yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
it must have been flippers and not rupee. Yeah, we didn't quite get a good view of what was on Lumberjack earlier. It was definitely blue.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that he's rushing Aga now
Yep.
means it was flippers.
That's wild. So Teto currently making his way through pod. He's got his mitts now. He's got his lamp. He's got his ice rod.
So then I could definitely understand maybe at least trying ice. Maybe skipping like hook lock side. Vortex and see if ice is hook lock and seeing if Pyramid Fairy is anything viable. Or if that can be safely skipped as well before heading up to the TR.
That's a good point.
Or just giving the checks. I mean, obviously he's in an icebreaker over to that side.
Yeah. Yeah. So assuming the flipper get after beating Aga here, that was an interesting tactic coming into that room. Get the guards to split that way. Vortex would then be hook shot from go, as you noted. Teto, meanwhile, still needs to head back up the mountain, with flute being locked behind those mitts and Samaria being locked behind the flute in Mire Shed before he can start catching up on some of these dungeons.
Yeah, this is unfortunate where the early mountain play makes it a little awkward for Teto because he has much less to go back for than Vortex, who had like the full density, pretty much the full density of the mountain available to him when he went.
Yeah, then again, though, the unfortunate thing for Teto too is his options have also winnowed pretty significantly because he did gamble on those couple of pendant plays that didn't pay off. He's only got one item left in Thieves, I believe. He already knows that pedestal is nothing, so he might get forced back up there and just again be chasing. And even if Vortex comes away empty-handed in Turtle Rock and has to make some other checks, he could still have a pretty significant time advantage.
Lumberjack, I believe, is the flipper. We had a difficult time seeing it earlier. We didn't quite get the whole thing, but it was blue, and the fact that Vortex is rushing it, I think says it's flippers.
Yeah, Vortex gave us a glimpse of the bottom. I would have guessed it was bombs and been wrong. And Teto gave us an even slighter glimpse. But yeah, I think it's a very fair inference that it's the flippers.
Yes, Teto also checked. Teto actually did a double take when he checked. But I suspect Teto felt a little bit behind because he last located his Dark World access in Agina, having already done Pendant Eastern.
We are seeing some of those checks that Vortex is probably not going to be quick to, given that he does have these other options available at present that Teto doesn't. Although if this was to turn up hookshot, I mean, it could send Teto to... Well, okay.
Okay. Well, Teto very likely is going to be at least tempered by the time he gets to against Tower, because that checkerboard sword is very free.
Vortex is making that beeline for the lumberjack tree. It will be intriguing to see where he heads after this, as you noted. Does he go to, you know, the quote-unquote easier play in Turtle Rock, which, you know, you pretty much know what you're getting, or does he go to ice and try to figure some things regarding hookshot logic, as you also mentioned?
Yeah. There are the slippers. Yeah, I have definitely seen a hook shot on that left side of Ice Palace plenty of times. Just never know. I feel like with Icebreaker, Ice is just such a quick clear. Anyway, I think this is definitely a worthwhile play before going up to Turtle Rock.
Teto right behind here with the Aga play, so he'll get his flippers, he'll have his options as well. And again, I do think it is probably a fair assumption that he does feel behind, and especially with those other things that he's tried not working out. It will be intriguing to see where he heads after this.
Yeah, at this point I'm kind of thinking that hookshot is just in TR, but I do also think this is very much worth trying, because if you can save yourself a mountain climb by hookshot being here, you have to do this anyway. And it's literally not going to get faster.
Yeah, that makes
later
total sense.
than now.
Yeah. It can save a mountain climb, and I can also save a... Well, I mean, can't really super super go mode TR, but
yeah.
If you get a good enough key layout, you can at least be able to skip some things. Although I'm sure Vortex again would love a third sword, would love silver arrows for things along the way.
Yep.
But against a player the caliber of Teto, the speed in which the players have been able to get to a lot of the key items in this seed, I don't think we're going to see terribly many extraneous checks on either side.
Yep, and very nice red cape for the sprite now. Just barely missing the stair clip, unfortunately.
Yeah, when I worked with Vortex in the mentor tournament, he noted that was the first swag trick he learned when picking up the game. I've never attempted it though. Looks cool.
Nice palace is red palace so far. Red mail, red shield, red crystal. We have a red cape to complete the trifecta.
Oh, Tyler Saul noting in chat that the red rang is an option too.
Yeah, true, yes.
We must not forget the OK Boomerang.
So I'm not 100% on this. So in check me if I'm wrong. My gut feeling is that this Ice Palace was hook locked. I think if Vortex skips Pyramid Fairy, I think it is definitely a hook locked Ice Palace.
Okay, the first portion of that fight was really cool.
Yeah.
With sword pokes and keeping
Yeah.
the eyes controlled.
Yeah, a little easier to do that with tempered. But he kept a handle on it most of the fight. It's very easy to for Cold Stare to get away from you, so I think he conducted himself very well.
Third item was indeed red, but I see another 20.
Yeah, red rupee, yes.
Vortex, yeah, looks like it. No, okay, I'm wrong. I was about to say I thought it was heading to the mountain.
Interesting.
It's doing a pet check.
And with how easily accessible these pedestal dungeons are, Hookshot could very easily be on head in Vortex's mind. We've already seen in Teto that it's not the case.
Teto is giving us our first look of Catfish, too. You know, that pet check is definitely interesting. I do like it from, as you said, those pendant dungeons are very accessible rather than committing to a mountain. I mean, yes, it does expend a bit of time to go there and check ped, but you know, in the wild chance that Hookshot's there, you aren't going up and wasting a lot of time full clearing TR for nothing. For no key item, that is. Teto is making his return to the mountain. So he will get his flute from Super Bunny Cave.
Yep.
Which will then take him to the mire.
Yeah. Yep. Lead into his Samaria, lead into his Tempered Sword. Fortunately, I felt, especially if Vortex finds, I'll tell you that that Hammer Pig Sword is definitely dead forever for Vortex.
Yeah, most likely.
Like, unless this hookshot is really ugly, like blonde blind ugly. Vortex is not getting that sword.
To my recollection, Vortex hasn't even set foot in the village of Outcast, correct?
No, he has skipped it entirely. I don't think he's even been in Skullwoods. There's like none of that area.
Yeah, because he got that flute up here, and he beelined it to the mire area, and
Spike Cave, not the answer. Yeah.
And Teto did not go to Super Bunny prior to that.
Yeah, under pressure, Vortex hitting the hardest trick in the game. Remembering you don't have hookshot in this room.
There's taking the scenic route, and then there's taking the sad route.
Yeah. There you go. That is go mode for Vortex. Around like what, 5820?
Yeah, right about there.
I think at this, yeah, it feels like a very sizable lead for Vortex at this point. I'm not sure that even the sword difference will really come into play.
No, Teto is chasing a lot, unfortunately for him. He still only has 2 crystals completed to Vortex's 5. He's still in need of that flute up on the mountain that will set forth the sequence to get to go mode.
Yep, and he's going to be doing Ice Palace without Samaria, so he's going to have a much slower ice for, unfortunately, nothing.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, this is, again, especially with runners of this caliber, and just one thing sometimes can
Yeah.
just set the chain of events going one way or the other. And again,
Yep.
Teto's made a lot of very reasonable plays, especially if he
Yep.
thinks he was chasing against a player as good as Vortex. And he's gotten nothing to show for it, which is just unfortunate, you know. I do like seeing Teto have that peace of mind to to poke that penguin right back into the bomb.
Nice, the good RNG. Hook shot was on the right chest of fire rod locked TR. So Vortex undergo modes very soon after entering the dungeon.
If you're Vortex in this situation, do you check Laser Bridge for silvers or a sword?
I think without silvers, I think you check for a sword. It's just so much faster.
Yeah, I would certainly be apt to do so.
I do think he probably skips that last hook shot. No, he's just going for it. Hey, I respect it.
Agree.
I think it's this level of competition. I can certainly see why he would skip.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he could certainly see the avenue that Teto, hey, probably maybe he followed the exact same route I am, and we are
Yep. Yep.
we are nose to nose here, and it's just going to
And
be execution and.
a sword could very easily be in GT on a checks that you have to do anyway.
It's not behaving very nicely for Vortex, though.
Yeah, it's in some bad luck with these little bumps.
And he keeps taking some strides whenever Vortex attempted the hammer hits, but the heads are down. Crystal 6. He's got a go mode swamp on the docket, and then Vortex would be on his way to GT.
That's true. I did forget. Yeah, we saw Swamp. I think that kind of the laser bridge skip makes even more sense. I think because he's just got a whole he's got a few checks he could check along the way. And Swamp Vita Tires a lot quicker than laser bridge.
Now that's some nice game knowledge there from Teto, picking up those additional magic pots. That's actually something I was not fully aware of, that those existed up there. And as Dunga is noting in chat, there is another match today in the Invitational. Group B between the Lane and CS Tutor. Coming up in a couple hours. The Lane is 1-0. Tutor is 1-1. So again, these are small groups. Every match counts, and it's an important match for both of them.
Very nice cold stare fight from Teto.
Yeah, terrific job there by Teto. Double spin on the bottom puff was especially impressive. Allowed him to save just enough magic to close that one out. And unfortunately for him, again, ice, another dungeon that did not really have anything that can...
There we go, and there we
all right. I believe there's a meme about that somewhere.
Always a heart piece in Swamp.
That's true.
Yeah, Vortex doesn't even care about the possibility of silvers, and the temperates are more than enough.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
And yeah, as a player, again, you never feel totally comfortable, but I think he has to feel pretty good about his route. He got to skip a whole lot of stuff. There wasn't really much time at all where it felt like he didn't have something good he could do.
Yeah, he was able to stay on the move, and again, he avoided all of the pendant dungeons. He avoided the entirety of the village of outcasts. Teto's giving us the pyramid fairy check here.
Yeah, from Teto's perspective, this could easily be Flute. This could be Samaria. So, like, missing more items in Vortex was this check definitely makes a lot of sense for Teto.
Yeah, just more red stuff. Yeah, this is, again, the highs and lows that come with playing rando is you would expect that in the many different things that Teto did, that something at least would have hit.
Yeah.
That maybe Vortex would have to come back and try to chase for, and he's just gotten absolutely blanked in so many locations. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, but this is definitely you stick your crystals in the surrounding areas, like you're pretty much rewarded. I don't think was there really anything that was like really egregiously out of the way.
Not particularly. I mean,
Like maybe flippers if you're crazy enough to skip the lumberjack peak at the start.
That is true.
But yeah, everything else is basically just like on path.
Yeah, but Vortex now with he's got 7 crystals heading to Ganon's tower. Unbeknownst to him, he has the game pretty much in hand at this point.
Yeah, I think again this play from Teto makes sense. I think he's rationalizing that if everything is on path, then I have absolutely lost.
Yeah.
So I need to play against that as much as possible.
An intriguing intriguing move to the Stalfos room first for Vortex, which is a bit atypical for him.
I wonder if this is a typical Teto GT route then.
That could be. Oh, there's the cape. Yeah, Vortex, kind of like Gamma, very much often goes hope and then continues to compass if we get a small key. But on this occasion, wasn't possible. Did get half magic though, so.
Yeah. And perhaps like maybe he's felt good enough out this route that he thinks he could play it a little safe. And avoid getting hard punished by any particular route.
That could definitely be the case. The right side coming up empty. Teto's still on the hunt for the fourth item in Thieves, and it's on blind, of course. And at this point now, there isn't terribly much that we haven't seen either.
Yeah, it's Ether, that bug net.
And the mushroom, right?
Oh, the mushroom.
Or did we see that?
Did we see the mushroom?
I don't believe we did, actually.
Yeah, I do not think we've seen the mushroom yet.
But between the two players, all four swords have been accounted for. Both the male upgrades, all the shields.
Here's Ether, yes.
thoroughly useless Ether in this scene. Vortex still on the hunt for the big key here in GT. Oh, there it is. You just have to mention things and they show up. Yep. Just like when we play the seeds. It's that easy.
Yeah. Doing a quick little check for silvers afterward.
That was the mimic room Vortex was practicing prior to the race.
Yes.
Executed the mimic's kill perfectly, and then the spike decided to be a jerk.
As it often does.
I do love that cool arrow shoot.
Yep.
I can't do it. That's cool.
Yeah, I tried recreating it for myself after I saw him do it. Did not go well.
Teto now heading into Hookless Swamp.
Yes.
It's just, yeah, as we've said several times now, it's just been a really unfortunate sequence of things for Teto, largely stemming from that initial glove location. It's always interesting to see people with different philosophies and preferences going through the gauntlet. You know, some people really lean heavily on fire rod, others on arrows. It's the different methodologies that can lead to similar results when they're that skilled is intriguing. I was not sure whether Vortex would check those mini helmet chests, given that he needed the small key anyway, but bypassing those. Oh, well, they...
Well, it's clearly because he knew it was just there.
That's just good game strategy. Hold on 2 down. Aga 2 coming up. And Teto, unfortunately, having to do the joys of hookless left side swamp. We don't know what's there, but we know it's not going to be progression.
Not progression unless you're playing a main tournament qualifier, then it is always progression, apparently.
Is that a big meta for this past qualifying season?
Oh, it happened to me more than once. She'll say that.
So with Tempered Sword, Silvers, Half Magic, Vortex, more than fine shape for Ganon.
Yeah, I believe he still has that fairy in the pocket. Cape if need be. I know this is one of the easier one-on-one patterns to handle. Yeah, hits it very easily, very impressive.
Yep.
Avoids the bats. It says, "Oh no, but I hit them so well." And there you go. Is it triple for Vortex Zoom? Get your GGs in chat for Vortex. Seeing with an official race time.gg time of 1:17:49. Vortex Doom wins the race, and Teto follows very shortly after with the forfeit.
Completely reasonable. Again, Teto did not play poorly by any means. He just he got randoed a little bit.
Yep, just unfortunate.
Yeah, but Vortex hit the route for the most part, and he played exceptionally well.
And it looks like we were joined in here by our winner Vortex of Doom and by Teto.
Hey, GG's.
Yep, GG's to both of you.
Yeah, congratulations.
So unfortunately, it just kind of came down to some bad luck for Teto. Last locationing is Dark World Access, and then it just unfortunately the choices just did not pan out in the way I think you were hoping.
Yeah, it's like I got 2 losses already, so I knew I had to win like by 8 or 10 minutes, depending on the tournament stats. Never looked into those more detail, but I knew I can't just win against Vortex by a minute or so. This isn't enough. So you try a little bit and you last locate the Dark World Access, which might be okay with Agina Cave. So this was fine, I guess, at least at this point. But with the Mountain Decision and not going the Hype Cave into Port, which would be easily doable with the Fireward, but I just was hoping for a sword to combine the Aghanim play with Palace of Darkness or something like that. So I was hoping for anything, and I just got things I played which never really turned out great. There's a book. Oh, let's do a patch check. Let's clear or play at least Thieves down and hope you get anything at this point. And with all those items in port, you knew if the seed isn't going to be pretty bad in the end with like a hookshot in Swamp, there's no way to catch up. So all in or nothing. And yep, I think I lost this.
Yeah, GG Teto. Got my sound on now. So.
Yeah, this is definitely a seed where, unfortunately for Teto, you stay on path, you clear your crystals, you clear out the surrounding areas, you're golden. Like Vortex, I don't think you even did like a single check in Village of Outcasts area.
I did not. I checked PED because I knew there was a really good chance that if you do, I was saying if you do Eastern before finding that glove. Especially if you end up starting via O, you're probably just blind pulling PED. So I wanted to kind of guard against that. I wasn't feeling great because I knew that I didn't feel like the route was super hard to hit. And then I had the mirror incident in pod and checked PED unnecessarily and did iced tea and so I was like,
so that's the stream struggled, so we weren't quite sure what happened because we knew we saw you hit Mimics at first, and then
we complimented your Mimics room, and then all of a sudden you were back in Mimics room. It's like, wait, what happened?
Hooksoft one too far, no magic to use like a rod.
Oh, what? I wish I got the cane. Yeah, so many tours in the seat. That's totally fine. I mean, like Vortex said, you expect your opponent hit the same or nearly the same route because it's pretty fair to play in this manner. But one turn and you are let's play something else, and I got involved with nothing. I mean, there was a Master Sword on Hammerplex or something like that, and later on I just beat up blind for one last item in the dungeon, and it was Ether, which with the finish time turned out was never really important anyway. So yeah.
I mean that changes the game right there. Like if Ether is required for either TR or Meyer, then
at least it could have been a little game changer at all, but I got so many double dips and pretty bad.
Hilarious. It was hilarious. The tempered and silvers. I was like not expecting that at all. I was like, I need to start shaving seconds if Teto also hit the route. So I didn't do like laser bridge. I didn't do first couple in swamp. Then I check one chest and it's a tempered sword, and then at the top of GT I 100% meant to powder and not get the chest, but instead NMG muscle memory took over and I did the opposite, which turned out to be a really good choice.
Silvers?
Yeah.
Sure.
Vortex just had the golden touch somehow in the seed.
Yeah, this is a great phase. Sometimes you play random and everything just works out fine, and then are those times, so that's okay.
Yeah, we remarked. Sorry, Vortex. I didn't mean to cut you.
I was just gonna say I've had my fair share of those too. So.
Yeah. I mean, we remarked during the seed, just you'd expect at least something to come up in these many additional checks because you did have a lot of variance between the two of you, and just nothing Teto checked aside from that sword that you cited was anything that really opened much of anything, which was so wild. But yeah, it was just one of those seeds where, and again, a lot of it stemmed from that getting that glove first and being able to do a little bit more on the mountain, and then that it just expanded from that, for getting that flute to open up the Mire area to get some Aria to go from there, and obviously hookshot go mode in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, the progression was on Dark Death Mountain or Hera?
It's Dark Death Mountain. It was in
right. Fair enough. I just ditched Hera because let's go mode this dungeon later on with the hookshot. So at least I didn't skip it at this point. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like I probably do the mountain since I hadn't and I had mitts, but like, yeah, I don't know. Like it was. I was very worried about leaving something in VOO and like, picking exactly the wrong route to get whatever it was last. Once I got to it, but I lucked out today.
Yeah, Vortex. Best of luck in the tournament. I mean, 0-3. There's no point in thinking about this anymore. So best of luck, everyone in the group for the next games. To be a great group at this point. Strong people in Jembo, Vortex, and Schulzer. It's not an easy group, so fair enough. And
Yeah.
make us proud in the finals.
Yeah, I was very worried going into this group. It could have gone any way. All very strong runners. I think my race with Schulzer will. I have to beat him by some margin. Probably a wide one. I don't know how big your loss to Schulzer was, but
Does my loss even matter anymore? I'm not that sure. I think it
well,
was.
Schulzer has 2 wins, and 2 is the
Yeah.
most I can have.
I think Schultzer's only played one match thus far. I think
Oh,
he
really?
and
Oh, yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, he and Ninjumbo haven't
Looking in
played
the
yet.
future,
Okay.
he's going to win another one. All right.
Okay.
yeah, he and Ninjumbo are playing tomorrow. That match has gotten added for tomorrow at 5 Eastern. Yeah, so there are still a few avenues at the top of the group, but again, Teto, great showing in this entire invitational. Though I mean, you were 11-5. You were 11-5 before the playoffs, though, and you ran into
Yeah.
a tough group, and all these matches, between the
Yeah,
16
thanks.
players are just toss-ups, really.
It's like reaching the top 16. It's not an easy task. So like going out without a single win, it's feeling bad. But in the end, just alone the qualification is not that easy. So that's okay. You just have to think about it for a little bit of time, but it will kick in. So thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for the commentary at this point, and of course for our trackers, the most important people out there.
But yeah, GG's. I'm gonna echo that. I was just happy to make top 16. It's been cool to get to be a part of it, and thanks to Dunka and Herfy, and yeah, thanks to you guys for commentating. It was fun.
Thanks.
Fun
Yeah,
seed.
thanks for providing the entertainment. Had a great time watching your race.
Yeah, this
Have a
was
great one.
a really fun one.
Hey, have a good one. See you guys here in an hour and a half.
Bye.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's our cue to wrap it up. We'll be back a little bit later in about an hour and a half or so for Thelane versus CS289. We have one Com sign up for that. If anyone else would like to step in, and Com will surely be a great match. You know where to sign up. Yeah.
Thank you, Shin, for coming with me, and again, Dunka for getting all this set up. This is always a ton of fun. So I was happy to do it. Happy to watch Vortex and Teto put on a great show. And again, there's plenty of rando going on, not only here, but we got League and a whole bunch of fun stuff. But yeah, it's been fun. Hope to do it again.
Yep. Yeah, thanks for joining me, and see you in an hour and a half for another great race.